Hi, everybody. Nick Blazier back here with another interview. I've got showing you the tournaments I'll be involved in this year, real quick here too. So if you want to join any of these in February and March, come on out or check out their websites. But yeah, with me today, I've got Masayuki Mochizuki, aka Mochi.
Hi.
Hi, Mochi.
Hello.
Yeah, and I wanted to join up with him and talk a little bit about his experience with UBC 2022, the finals there. Get that wrap up, and just what else is going on in Mochi's backgammon world these days. So welcome, Mochi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this, Nick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know you're at the New York Metropolitan Open right now. How's that going so far for you?
Oh, it's not going well for me. I got kicked out from Super Jackpot and a main tournament. So basically, I'm free today. But I have lots of side action like money game and yeah, some gammons, So it's all right. It's just right.
That's pretty cool. New York's a good place to bust out. There's plenty to do there, and it frees you up
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
interviews
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can show you some. Can you see? Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
Window is too dark. I mean, I don't know
No,
if
I
you
can
could
see
see the
it.
Manhattan over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't that the is it called is it a bay, a Hudson Bay or something? I can't remember.
it is Hudson River.
Ah, Hudson River. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But you're on the
you
New
know the
Jersey side looking over at New York there. Yeah, yeah, okay.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
So
tournament, man.
yeah, it's very nice location here.
Yeah. I love it. I got to get out there again someday. It's a fun tournament to join. Um, so the side action too, I've seen you streaming a lot of that on your YouTube channel with Hussein's help. That's really cool. Is that something you're planning on doing more of at tournaments or just here in New York or what's up with that?
Now we recently find out that it's not that difficult to stream the match. So with the help of Hossein Paknahad, he does all the streaming and the YouTube thing. So whenever he's ready, we stream a match or money game or whatever there's up to. I hope viewers enjoy it. So yeah, we will do game not only this tournament but in many other tournaments too.
Awesome. That's so exciting, man. Like more content from the tournaments I think is just big for people understanding what it's like out there and getting it a feel for why they should come out to a tournament and things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With all your money game action, is there any worry about like the live transcription on it? Did you?
Yeah, actually everything is live transcribed basically.
Yeah,
And of course, I always ask my opponent if it's okay to stream or record or transcribe anything.
yeah,
And usually they say yes. So they are happy to do it. And we
yeah.
do transcribe the match. And yeah, my opponent actually, he beat me like 11 points after 5 hours.
Okay.
And he was, um, yeah, I mean, I play better than him, but he was happy to get the match point anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, so why not?
Of course. Cool.
But
Okay.
it's not a point. I mean, the point is that showing a game to the viewers so that they can enjoy it. It's not because I want to see my PR or stuff like that. I don't really care so much.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's also nice to have, recorded because some positions are really interesting, and sometimes the miracles happen. Just in case, you want to record it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's so nice. I always wished I could record all my shoeouts just because, like, there's going to be some position that you forget to take a picture of or whatever the case that was, like, very interesting and you wish you could study later, but it kind of interrupts the flow to always be taking pictures and just recording is a really
Yeah,
easy way to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I don't want the people around me discussing position. It was error. It was no double. Whatever. It just slow down the actions, and it's no good. I mean, so I don't really discuss a position during the game. I'm opposed
Yeah.
to do that.
Well, that's really cool that your opponents care enough to like look up the positions and look through the transcription file too. That's always nice, I
Yeah,
guess. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Everyone's a student these days.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, cool. Let's talk a little bit about the UBC finals. I know it's not the result you were hoping for, probably the average PR and everything too. But I was really curious. Like I saw in your interview with Hossein, he asked you like what you think the reason was for your performance or something like that, and it seemed like you weren't super sure. But so I'm like really curious if uh, if you've studied like all the matches from that, or if you plan on going through and reviewing the results or anything like that.
Yeah, of course I studied the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you went through the 12 matches from the UBC finals, was there anything you noticed like unusual in there about like mistakes? Like when you looked at your blunders, were you thinking like were they just really challenging positions for you, or were they like why did I get this wrong? What did I misthink here? You know, like what really happened there?
Okay, what happened was this. So even after hours of studying the game,
Yeah.
I studied like 20 years now.
Yeah.
Even after that, most backend difficult positions you have to figure out over the board.
Hmm.
You understand what I mean? And it's sometimes it's not easy, and it's like you have to be sharp, and you have to like so. Usually, you can nail down to like two plays, and you really not sure which is best or which is the second best. But in a good day, you can always find better one. You can end up in the best one, and the bad day you end up in the bad one. There's
Sure.
no reason. I mean, there's a reason, but like many things combined, like fatigue, maybe stress or not enough sleep. It's not only about lack understanding of the game. It is important, but you still have to figure out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in UBC 2022, I don't wanna I don't wanna be sounded like I'm excusing, but it was just like I always choose the wrong one.
Yeah.
I wasn't sharp enough, and yeah, but of course, I could have if I studied more, if I knew better, then I could play better, of course.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, there's always many areas that are in gray zone. You have to figure out over the board. I think it applies to everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody really solves the game.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. It's just interesting to hear how you describe it. It's almost like, I mean, well, I guess I'm still a little curious if it feels like it was bad luck in that like figuring out process, or if you just felt like you weren't computing the positions as well as you usually do. You know?
It's not bad luck. It's
Mm.
it's more of a conditional problem. I wasn't 100% physically and
Mm.
mentally probably,
Hmm.
and that was my mistake. Of course, that's my fault,
Mm.
and so there's no excuse about it. So I was actually kind of disappointed. Not because I lost, but because I didn't make a good fight. You know what I mean? I don't care about losing so much because it's a part of the game, of course. But if I could give a good fight, it's worth watching. I mean, UBC, like many people actually comes to me and say that it was great, but for me it wasn't great. It wasn't worth watching. It's just poor performance by me, and
Mm.
I hate it. Of course, I wish I could play better and lose anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
So
course, of course. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I figured you'd be really disappointed in that performance for how far outside of your range it is, right? And I think, I mean, I guess for other players that like don't average under a 3 already, like the difference between your like super grandmaster average and what you did is like pretty significant, you know? Even though they're both still the best in the world basically, right? So,
yeah, like so. My average would be, let's say, 2.5. Yeah.
okay.
And so I play like 3 on UBC, so it's like 20% worse than my normal. So
Mhm.
it means, say, Usain Bolt,
Yeah,
the runner of the 100 meters,
right.
he could run like 9 seconds, right? I don't know the world record now,
Me
but
neither.
say Usain Usain Bolt run 11 seconds or 10 and a half, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy. It's super bad. It's like crazy. Of course, it's faster than like 99.999% of the world, you know? Still, he's like one of the fastest. But 10.5 is like, oh my God, what's going on, you know?
Right,
And
right.
this is what happened to me.
Yeah.
But of course, people don't see it, obviously, and I don't blame them, you know. But this is what happened to me. This is just so a big disappointment,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, okay, okay. I mean, it is really just fascinating to me to hear kind of how that happens or something like that. And I mean, I think there is always the possibility that you just run into a set of like decisions that are just not your easiest, right? And it's just difficult, and that
Hmm.
makes like the decisions later more difficult because you're tired now. But it sounds a little bit more like it just felt like you weren't um, making your best decisions. That was kind of my impression watching it too. A lot of the
Hmm.
mistakes felt like things that I felt like I had seen you get right in the past. You know, like I don't know, and they were just like it didn't strike me as something that was just like wow, he just keeps getting thrown in the blender with the hardest decisions that I've seen in backgammon. Like it felt like just a little bit worse than you usually play. So I was curious how it felt for you too. You know?
Yeah, I don't want to think that. I don't think it was the match was harder than normal. Because we played 12 matches. It's not like one or two matches, so
Mm-hmm.
it's average out. Some games are always difficult than others. So I don't want to say too much about this because whatever I say, it sounds like I'm excusing.
No.
So I just want to play better in the next contender tournament, and I want to just prevail. But all I'm saying is just yeah. I mean, you could say there's a luck involved in UBC as well. The format has some variance. Like in one or two matches, you could have a difficult one or easy one. So it's not that easy to perform well in short number of games. But I play 12, so there's no excuses, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, the my task is play, yeah, my task is has to perform even with short matches, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So contender tournament will be very difficult. I have no room for making a mistake, no room for I mean, it's a semi-final of the contender tournament or final of contender tournament would be maybe five matches only, like three matches only.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just waste your match. Every match is important. Every decision counts.
Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate the pressure of a format like that, and I felt like I could see you guys feeling that a little bit later in the finals too. But yeah, it just makes it different when, like, in the long term, you're used to if I get position wrong, like okay. But this one, if like the hardest position comes up, you have to try to figure it out somehow, whether you know it or not, right? Because it's like it's one of the few that you get, and you just have to do your best on each of those, right? It's very interesting that way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Well, I think everyone's excited to get to see you compete in the contender tournament as well. That should be a cool experience for you. Not the one you were looking for, but a challenge nonetheless. Um, I'm still interested. So you record a lot of your tournaments and matches and are studying all the time. Have you seen like outlier tournaments like this before too?
Excuse me.
Have you seen outlier tournaments before, like where you just feel like I had an off tournament and I played like a three instead of my usual two and a half? You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, tournament is different because my opponent is not as good as Sander,
Yeah.
so I can change my play according to my opponent.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's hard to play 3.0 after whatever's matches.
Hmm.
Uh, but it could happen. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just it's like under discussed thing in tournament backgammon and competitive backgammon is that like at the end of the day you have to show up and actually perform in like the physical world too, right? And so I remember
Yeah.
seeing over the last couple of years you bringing more meditation practices to the board before your matches and stuff like that. And yeah, it's something that I've always feel like very conscious of when I'm at a tournament about like taking care of myself physically, and that I know that the only way I can play my best is if I'm feeling well too, right? So I don't know. People don't think about that when they're showing up to a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, people show up the tournament to to enjoy, to have fun,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and tournament like in New York, I don't do that. I just came to meet people, and I mean, I came here to win, obviously,
Hmm.
but I also want to enjoy.
Hmm.
I don't need to perform 100% every matches, but I, you know, and also it's very difficult. Sometimes you get bumped into some players who wants to play 5 hours, then like funny game. So I can't say no. So I gotta do it. Then I end up sleeping at 4 a.m. And what can we do? So this is back end professional. Like if you are, you have action, you can't say no, even when you are like super tired. uh, you know
Yeah. You were sharing with me that you're still getting over jet lag, and but you have a cash game on the schedule, and so you just got to figure it out today, right? That's how it's gonna go.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, it always, cash game never be planned. It always happen like, hey Mochi, you want to play like 5 games, and it's end up like 5 hours.
That's great. I've always New York is one of those places too where I see more of that action available. Maybe not always in the tournament room while I'm there, but I've been able to like hang out and spend time in different clubs around the city after the tournament and things like that too. And there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
exciting
there are a
scene.
bunch of action in the tournament room too, I think.
Very cool. Okay, okay, that's always
Hmm.
good. It's nice to see more of that coming back when it can. Um, yeah, I'm always curious too about like what you do. You see that as a big part of like growth of the game or something like that? I always like to talk to people about their vision for tournaments or the community getting bigger. Do you think that the
Yeah.
direction is like having these money games and more gambling out at the tournaments, or more of like a mind sport, or where do you see the game going?
Um, in general, we should go more on sports, mind game zone, not going to the gambling zone. I don't think,
Hmm.
because it could attract more sponsors. Basically, I think the key is growth. Uh, More people get into the game, so that it's more attractive for sponsors to sponsor something. Then it gives more players. It comes down to the more players, then more sponsors. It's going to the good cycle.
Yeah,
This is what we're aiming for. I think I mean, gambling. I mean, it's fun. I like gamble. I obviously. But it doesn't attract crowd. Not many people want to play $200 per point.
sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me. I Are you involved in any like World Backgammon Federation projects or anything like that to like try to get more involved in the mind sports side of it, or yeah, what are you
Yes,
interested in?
I'm a board member of WBGF. I from representing Asia.
Oh, very cool. Okay. I talked
Yeah,
to the interview hasn't come out yet, but I talked to Bernard Meyer and he had some really inspiring stuff to say about his plans for 2023, so I'm excited about that too. That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. That's I think there's a lot of neat stuff going that direction. I know one thing you've always been very active in, as well as like in Japan, I always see these like training camps you do with like youth backgammon players. How did
Yeah.
that get started, and what like how does that work? What do you do with that?
So it was started maybe 8 years ago. I don't remember exactly.
Uh-huh.
So the idea was that whoever below 25 years old could join for summer camp, in which I and Michi teach backgammon. And we get together in summer house. Like this year, we had like 16 kids. get together and play backgammon for 3 4 days, and we play league. We record the match, transcribe, and discuss the position, and we help each other to get better. That was the idea. The main idea was, train them to be better player. But the side effect is, of course, they have a chance to meet each other. There's still a backgammon for the youth is a small group, so they are struggling to find same age. Like
Hmm.
if you come to the tournament, okay, Japan is much better than US. If you come to Japanese tournament, usually you could find bunch of 20 years old, like even teenagers, like many young people. But if you come to the tournament in many American tournament, then you only see like okay, 40 years, 50 years. That's my age, but basically,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's not very exciting or sexy for young people. You know what I mean? They feel like, oh, maybe I'm. This is not my place. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
I just wanted to provide a chance to chance for them to get together, and yeah, I think that the key to promote backgammon is young generation really.
Mm, yeah.
Because think about it, if you want to promote backgammon to adults like okay 30 years old, 40 years old, it's much more difficult because first of all we are busy, we have a job, we have family, we already have a hobby, maybe you play golf, maybe you play ping pong, whatever, so you don't want to have a time for another hobby, right? But if you're a student, university student, you have a time, and you probably are more flexible or more open to a new hobby, and you have friends. You have a friends in university, so you can just expand the game to new players naturally. Like, hey, I started this game. Do you want to play? What's this? Yeah, let's do it. So naturally, we could, get more people into the game much easier than adults, and also, I mean, they don't have money, but we could give them a discount. For example,
Mm.
you charge maybe $300 to enter the tournament for adults, but maybe you can give a big discount to a young generation. Maybe they only pay $100. Whatever. Um, so that disadvantage that they don't have money is it's no issue anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really believe that the young generation is the key. If once the ball starts rolling, it just gets bigger and bigger, and who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like esports, esports, like people play video games. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Esports 10 years ago in Japan, it's like very small. Not many people get into esports now. Esports is like huge.
Yeah.
Like many professional players and
Right.
people admire strong players and stuff like this.
Million
That's
dollar prizes
what
and
we want to see.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
an esports fan too. I played Counter Strike in college, and so I still think it's like the second most popular game out there right now. And the productions of their live streams of tournaments and the prizes on top and the professionalism of the teams and everything, like it's so
Mm-hmm.
inspiring to see all that. And I'm definitely always thinking about like how do we get closer to that, to like this big event, like the stories, all the streams too between like matches, right? Like they have no dead time in there, and there's all kind like they have all this like pre-produced material. So I don't know. I've got all kinds of ideas from that, and I would love to
Mm-hmm.
see it kind of work on that scale. I think the discounts for kids is an interesting topic too, because like I think that is one of the more difficult things. Is like the age group out at tournaments is the group of people with disposable income to like travel out and take a vacation and spend on that, and maybe like
Yeah.
younger people in general don't have that or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it is
Mm-hmm.
a small hurdle to jump. It's a clever idea to get more people out there. I I like to like these formats, right? Like I think streaming and things like that and like being available on the internet seems really important for that, right? So like stuff you're doing to get your matches out to people and have a YouTube channel that people can follow. Like I think that's the video is the only way I think maybe you're going to get to like a certain generation too, right? which is not how we're used
Mm-hmm.
to communicating as a community. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, okay, it's probably like off topic, but mm, we probably want to make a community for younger generation. That's that they want. It's not like we try to get them into our community,
Mm.
but they have to have their own community. For
Mm.
younger generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the idea. It's not like we are trying to get them to come to our club, or our tournament. That's
Yeah.
fine. If they come, they're welcome. Basically, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if yeah, like for example, like youth tournament or youth league or youth championship or whatever, that would be ideal. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. A college championship or something. Okay. Okay. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing's off topic, by the way. I think whatever like you're thinking about in backgammon, I'm interested in, man. So we can talk about it. I know. I know you've got a book coming out soon with Mark's help. That backgammon masterclass. I think I heard it's like from the lectures back in Marbella. Is there anything you want
Yeah.
to share about that, or that like any upcoming news on that?
Yes. So I and Mark wrote a book.
Yeah.
It's basically so we did a seminar. We did a backgammon, summer camp. We call it the master class. Basically, it's like 2 days of lots of seminars and study group. And I did two seminars. And Mark did two seminars, and we make it to one book.
Hmm.
And fortunately, we found a super nice writer. His name's Alec Barr.
Ah.
He's Australian, I think, and he is a phenomenal writer.
Yeah.
So don't worry about my English. He's writing it, and of course, I mean this is my book, but he tried to make my seminar into a book, and so yeah, I mean it's funny is that sometimes his English is so sophisticated. I have to look up a dictionary in my own book. You know what I mean?
That's
No,
awesome.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I learned a lot of vocabulary from the writing. His writing.
That's so great. That's actually a thing
Yeah.
that I mean, I think people have noticed in some of the Galaxy books in the past is that they're like maybe non-native or something or could use like editing that way. So I think that's a awesome idea to bring someone in to like to write
Hmm.
it that way. Yeah, someone like focused on that
Yeah.
side of it. And
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
And the contents was like, so we have four chapters. I mean, we have four seminars, so into one chapter, one seminar. And my chapter was one is for the back game,
Hmm.
um, which is very interesting because I have never seen a book just specialized for back game. There might be some article about back game online, here and there, but it's not really. It's mine is probably the first literature just for the back game, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other topic was about how you build a position. So I have my own way to look at the position. I don't really calculate anything, or I don't really memorize anything. I just see the position, and in certain way, I develop my eyes to see the position and classify into two patterns. Basically, one is blitz game, and the other one is priming game. And means that almost every position can get into one of those categories, and those are very different strategy. And if you have a blitzing type of position, you must make a blitzing type of play. And if you have priming time positions, then you have to make a priming type of play.
Hmm. Hmm.
And of course, you have to look at your opponent's position,
Yeah.
and you can adjust. You can find the right strategy.
Yeah.
This is my way, and this works really well in most positions. It's not perfect; nothing is perfect, but it's much better than the other way, I think.
Yeah, it's a really elegant metric, I think, and I use that with my students all the time. I like it informs my early game decision making process, and it just everything seems more clear. And probably I think of it in commentary too, when I jump to like what should I be looking at in this position. It's so nice to like look at that way and like not trying to calculate how much of each one it has, but just like well, primarily what's going on, right? Like
Yeah,
which is the
yeah,
dominating strategy, and what do I have to do as a result? So I love that's the part that I think is like I that was like most exciting to me from those masterclass lectures for sure. I got to be there to do the commentary, of course. So yeah,
right, right,
cool,
right.
man. Well, awesome. This has been great, Mochi. I could talk to you all day, like I said, but I know you got cash games and sleep to get to, so maybe it's a good place to wrap it up. Unless there's anything else you want to share, real quick.
Oh, not really.
Yeah.
But I heard that you are going to do more commentaries this year.
Yeah. I could actually, I mean, I can share that screen up again too. You won't see it, but I'll have it on the stream. Yeah, for February, I'm all set up to do remote commentary for Gibraltar in the beginning of it. So kind of the same way,
Oh, wow.
like they're gonna stream out the matches, and then I'll do all the setup like Hosein's doing from home. And so I'm gonna do that for a couple of Arters tournaments, Gibraltar in February, and then Loot Rocky in March and then I'll be on site at the San Antonio, Texas Backgammon Championships in early February.
What?
Yep.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. You have only one body, right?
Yes. I'm doing about two a month, I think is the plan right now. So it won't be a problem.
Wait. So- But I think Gibraltar and Texas are very close, no? It's
They
like back to
are.
back.
Yeah, but so I get to do Gibraltar, from home that second through the fifth, and then I just have to fly shortly after that out to Texas and do San Antonio. It's not a it's a short flight for me here in the States. I'll be quite all
Wow.
right, I think. The harder one might be flying home from Rocky, or not from London, and then getting over the jet lag in time to start Loot Rocky on the ninth. I'll have to figure that out, but I'll have my techniques in place by then, and I'll be on my A game. Swear it.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna meet up in Turkey, Istanbul.
Oh, that one I don't know about. It looks
You don't know yet?
no, I think well I'm doing the cherry blossom in April as well, which butts right up against that. And I think
Ah.
that ends on the 23rd and I think the UBC is starting on the 24th, so I don't know if that's going to work out.
Mm.
But I don't know. I might end up getting down there for I could definitely make it for a Stavder, right? Or I could make it for like the finals of the UBC or something, but I don't know. Well, we'll see where that goes. Yeah. That's my plan for this year so far. Hopefully more tournaments too.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Sounds cool.
I hope to see you around soon. I hope you have a little better luck in the cash games today. Maybe I'll stop by the chat and watch a little bit of that too. And yeah, pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me, Mochi.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
All
Have a
right.
nice day.
You too. Bye now.
Bye.